Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we have some really big and very concerning news coming out of the League of Legends world as a whole. You know, we're not specifically talking about the West today. We're not talking about the LCS or the LEC. We're talking about the international scene. And as we all know, one of the best and worst things about competitive League of Legends, it's honestly something I go back and forth on. You know, it's one of the reasons why it's so great, but it's also one of the reasons why it sucks, is that there's only two international tournaments, and there's only one that really matters. Like, yes, MSI matters, and it's big, and it's cool, because it's one of the only two international tournaments, but at the same time, you know, MSI is nowhere near Worlds, but also regional competition is nowhere near MSI. Like, you know, there's a huge gap between regional competition and MSI, and then a huge gap between MSI and Worlds. But since we only get to see two international competitions a year, they mean so much. They affect players and teams and coaches and everyone's legacy so much, and they are so meaningful in driving storylines and rivalries and who's the best region, who's the best players, and all this stuff. And today we have some potentially bad news revolving them that could change all of this and could really hurt this. So we're going to be talking about in this video today. Definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. The videos that get likes, they do better. YouTube pushes them more people see them. It's just awesome. You guys are already here. Click that button really fast. It would help me out a ton. And subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. With that being said, let's get right into this. So what really sucks is within the last 2 or 3 years, we've already lost an entire MSI. And that was a really hard one to lose. You know, we lost 2020 MSI. And that sucked because, one, this was like prime G2. You know, they were coming off an MSI championship and a world finals, and then G2 wasn't able to go to MSI and defend their MSI title. That sucked, and who knows how that could have changed everything. You know, say G2 goes to MSI and sucks. How does that change stuff? Say G2 goes to MSI and wins it again. How does that change everything? I don't know. Also at the time, Cloud9 was coming off a very dominant spring split where Blabber was looking like a monster. C9 was just looking so good. You know, people wanted to say, and I was speaking out against this, but at the time people wanted to say Cloud9 was looking like the best team in LCS history. And they didn't get to go to an international event. And it just shows how meaningful these international events are and the ripple effect they can have on everything. So this is kind of some of the big news coming out today. I guess by the time you see this video, it'll be yesterday. But this is from Rita, or Cute Bichu. I know she does a lot of like, or she. I don't know who. I don't know like who it is, but they do a lot of stuff talking about the LPL and talking about international League of Legends stuff. They're always tweeting about stuff. They're pretty active. We also have some other accounts to go over. So you know, it says legit, and obviously it's a video of Doinby, but they say Doinby mentioned if the LPL representative can't play remotely in MSI, they may not attend the tournament because of the Asian Games and the LPL summer split schedule. It is possible for them to join. LPL will play, or if it is possible for them to join, LPL will play the games with 30 ping like the mid-season cup format. And then let's see if we can get anything from this Doinby quote. I'm going to mute it because obviously he's speaking, you know, he's not speaking English. So we have the captions here. And this says the LPL summer split will play around 1 month because of the Asian Games. It seems that LPL will play 4 series every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, and that's crazy. The LPL schedule is going to be 4 match days in a week. You know, they play best of 3, so they're going to be playing 4 best of 3s throughout the week, so spread out. Like, that's a crazy schedule. And I think the LPL also has 17 teams, and they're going to be fitting that full 17-team schedule of best of 3s into a single month because of MSI and the Asian Games and all the stuff they have going on in a short time frame, because obviously you need time to get ready for Worlds too. So kind of crazy. But yeah, this is one of the issues going on. I don't know if there's anything else in this clip or not. Might be some other stuff. If the LPL can't play remotely, let me back that up a little bit. If the LPL can't play remotely, they may not attend. They can't catch up on the summer split schedule. Does Doinby have anything else to say? It's impossible to come to Korea, so the only way is playing remotely. He says it's impossible for them to come to Korea. And obviously Korea is where MSI is rumored to be being held. Now, obviously one of the options is that Riot can maybe change it. If Riot needs to move things to China, maybe they can move things to China. Maybe they can make it more accommodating for the Chinese players. I'm not sure. That's got to be a consideration because obviously the Chinese market in competitive League of Legends is absolutely massive. They don't want to miss out on those teams. They don't want to miss out on that fan base, the potential revenue, all that stuff. But DoNB is saying here, it's impossible for the LPL representative at MSI to come to Korea. Is that true? I don't know. The format is the same as the Mid-Season Cup. If you come to Korea, you don't have a quarantine in Korea, but you have to quarantine when you come back, and that's obviously the issue. If you have a quarantine, you can't play the summer split. You can't promote academy team to the summer. It is impossible to play matches via the hotel's computer when you have to quarantine in the hotel. You can't do that. For the latest version, which we heard in the playoffs, LPL representative will play remotely or they will not attend. However, it will not affect the other region's representatives. They will still participate in MSI. It is possible for them, for example, the LEC team or LCS team, they can play the games with 200 ping on the stage. They can play the game for sure. For us, it is fine. We have played the game with 30 ping in the... So, what he's saying is, hey, they will play remotely. If Riot will let them play remotely, they'll play with 30 ping. But even that would be a little bit crazy. That's still, I feel like, going to have an asterisk by it when you have some people playing on LAN and having, no ping or like 2, 3, 4, 5 ping, whatever you get on LAN, versus people with 30 ping. I don't think it would make that much of a difference. But again, you don't want to have even that variable coming up in the highest level of competition. And then it's also questions about, like, stable internet connections and weird stuff like that and how exactly that's going to work out. But the other option is the potential that the LPL might not attend MSI at all, and that would be crazy, man, especially with how T1 is looking right now. They're looking like maybe one of the most dominant LCK teams of all time. We want to see how they match up against the top LCS team, the top LEC team, but most importantly, for many people, it's going to be how does T1 match up against the top LPL team, because, that's kind of expected to be the MSI finals and stuff. It's usually the MSI finals, so if China doesn't get to go, it's going to put a huge asterisk on the whole thing. It's going to be T1 against the top LEC team, the top LCS team, and then, whoever else, like there's going to be a bunch of minor regions and stuff like that, and it's just not going to be a huge event, and it's going to taint the whole thing, and it's always going to be this big what if of like, hey, T1 coming off an undefeated split in the LCK, how would they have matched up against the LPL? And it's going to really suck. And then, if some LEC team or LCS team makes it all the way to the finals or whatever, it's going to be like, oh, yeah, they made it to the finals, but the LPL wasn't even there. So this would suck. I mean, this is a absolutely massive, massive deal. And what I thought was really, really interesting, from the West, I feel like we don't really understand the significance and the importance of the Asian games and all this stuff and kind of the conflicts. It'd be like, okay, we'll skip the Asian games. Okay, well, move your schedules around. Okay, we'll fix them to change the LPL schedule, whatever. But to the Chinese fans, to the Chinese people, this matters a lot. Ran LPL, I don't know if they put out this poll or if they just found this poll on a Chinese website or whatever, but anyway, this poll, it only had like 2,500 or 2,600 people voting on it, but it's still very, very telling, I think, to how the Chinese fans feel. 2,452 people voted yes on the poll of do you support the LPL giving up MSI? 166 voted no, and 157 voted I support whatever the LPL decides. So 166 out of 25, 27, pretty much 3,000 people, 166 said, they would not support the LPL dropping out of MSI. Everyone else is saying that they would support the LPL dropping out of MSI. That shows how important the Asian games and the LPL is to the fans, and that they'd rather have them attending these things than finding out a way to attend MSI. It seems like they really don't care about it, at least in contrast to these other events. So that is very, very interesting. That is very, very telling. Now, obviously, I hope they can figure things out, but it sounds like this is a very tough, very complicated situation that doesn't have a great answer. And again, at least from DoNB's opinion, the only solution is to have the LPL representative play remote at MSI and play 30 ping. And I think either way, whether the LPL has to miss the event entirely or they have to play on 30 ping, I think that's kind of a disaster. I think that is kind of really, really bad news for the competitive League of Legends scene. Again, when you only have 2 international competitions a year, but that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this whole situation. Do you think the LPL should do whatever it takes to go to MSI? Do you think they should play remote? I don't know. Do you think they should not go? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then. Peace.